guys, how are we all doing? Welcome back to another video. Now today we are back with the predictions and I'm joined by Cookie. How you doing?
Yeah, really good. I won the last predictions I was on again, and we've just finished a live stream, Sheffield United versus Chelsea. Who won that prediction?
You actually got your prediction right for that, to be fair.
Spot on, 2-1, thank you very much.
Watch him get these wrong. I'm going to beat him with predictions today, guys. It's FA Cup predictions, so let's get straight into it with Tuesday's games. Burnley versus Championship Bournemouth. Now, Burnley obviously in the Premier League, they look like they're going to stay up. I think, you know, they've accumulated enough points and they've got a good gap over the relegation zone now. And Bournemouth are struggling in the Championship, and despite their win against Birmingham at the weekend when they won 3-2, I still think things don't look great at Bournemouth, so I'm going to back a Burnley win and I'm going to say 2-1. What are you saying?
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because Bournemouth could very well turn up in this fixture and Burnley play some disgusting football, so it's a really hard one to predict. But I'm gonna go for the bigger team, and I'm gonna say a 2-0 Burnley.
2-0 Burnley.
Yeah, it's hard though. That's a tough one.
Okay, the next one is Manchester United versus West Ham. Obviously an all-Premier League game, and two teams that have been doing pretty decent in the Premier League this season. West Ham obviously flying, and Soucek is banging in loads of goals for them. Although he did pick up a dubious red card against Fulham.
Wasn't a red.
I think they're going to overturn that though, aren't they?
It's got to be, man. It's stupid.
But Man United, their last game was a 3-3 draw against Everton, so you can't. It's really hard to predict this one. I do think United will win. I'm going to say 1-0.
I think there'll be more goals than that, to be honest. And I think West Ham have looked really quite solid and quite a threat going forward in recent times. And I think Man United have started to pile in the goals as well. Irregardless of the 9-0, they've started to try and really pump some goals in. So I think there'll be more than that. I'm going to go for 3-1 United. 3-1
United.
Yeah.
Okay, the next game is on the Wednesday. It's the other Manchester club, Man City, away to Championship team Swansea City. And despite them being from the Championship, they're one of the better Championship teams. Swansea City are flying in the Championship, looking towards automatic promotion, and it should be an interesting game. I'm going to back Swansea to get a goal, and it'll be a close game, but City will come out on top. 2-1.
I wouldn't say it's a weird one, but they're very similar teams, but in the different leagues, if that makes sense. So Swansea have conceded the least amount of goals in the Championship, and then obviously you look over to Man City, exactly the same in the Premier League.
Yeah.
They're both doing really well in their current divisions. Swansea, I think, are up there with Brentford of being one of the two teams to get automatics, and it's going to be it's a difficult one because they might be really hard to break down for Man City, but then again you are talking about Sterling, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, so it's a difficult one, and I always thought FA Cup's tricky to predict. I'm gonna say 4-1 Man City. It's really difficult, isn't it? Because there's so many routes that game could go. It could be a 1-0 boring game.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna let's see some goals. Let's have some goals.
Yeah. I do feel like the FA Cup is hard to predict.
It's well hard, isn't it?
The next game is an all-Premier League game, Leicester versus Brighton. Leicester's last game is a 0-0 draw away to Wolves. Brighton's a 1-1 draw away to Burnley. Both teams, I don't believe, have ever won the FA Cup. I think Leicester have got to 4 finals though and never won,
really?
So that's pretty mad.
That's mad.
I believe that's a stat anyway. Brighton have got to the final as well before and not won, and they must both fancy their chances of getting somewhere this season because they're both, you know, one step from the quarter-final. And I'm actually going to go for a bit of a surprise here. I'm going to go Leicester 0, Brighton 1.
Yeah, so Brighton I think are a really good footballing side. They're really good to watch, and I think with better players, more skilled players, would be doing a lot better than where they are, I'd say. But Leicester are I probably like Brighton actually, but are performing to their ability. I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to say 2-1 to Leicester. I think Leicester are seriously contenders for this year's
FA Cup.
Yeah, serious contenders.
Yeah, that's interesting. The next game is Sheffield United, who we just watched in the Premier League, losing to Chelsea against Bristol City from the Championship. Bristol, not in great form to be honest coming into this. They have just lost at home to Cardiff City. And Sheffield United, although they're still bottom of the Premier League, they've turned a bit of a corner because they're actually starting to win games now. So it's actually going to be quite an interesting game. I think they're probably quite similarly matched, but Sheffield United should just have a bit more quality. And I'm going to back them 1-0.
Yeah, I think Sheffield United have definitely got a better quality. So as we just watched that game, Sheffield United, very sort of reminiscent of Coventry, I would say. Very good in the middle of the pitch, but at the back and up front, haven't really got a lot going on. Do you know what I mean? And I think coming down into play against Bristol, they're gonna dominate them. Midfield wise, they're gonna batter them. And they might have like players like David McGoldrick, Brewster might even get in the team. He might score, and obviously Billy Sharp. These players have been there, done it in the Championship. Do you know what I mean? But they're probably not overly cut out for the Premier League. So I think this is more their level, but they're very good at it, and I think they're going to do them in. So I'm going to go 3-0 Sheffield United.
Wow, that's a huge result. The next game is possibly one of the best. It's Everton versus Tottenham. Should be an interesting game. Everton just off the back of that 3-3 thriller at Old Trafford, and Spurs have just beaten West Brom 2-0. So at least they've got a win back after a few bad results. It's hard to predict this. They're both teams that they're probably not a lot between them. They've both got really good managers. Both managers with a lot of experience, and both managers, I believe, have won the FA Cup before as well. I'm gonna back Tottenham 2-1.
See, the thing for me, I like Mourinho, but I think as a manager he hasn't evolved as much as he could have on his attacking game. Defensively, I think he's one of the world's best, if not the world's best. But like attacking, I'm not too sure, and they rely too much on Kane. But saying that, if their team's there with Kane in it, they are favourites. They have to be. So I think on that basis, I'm going to have to go for a. I'm going to go for a 1-0 Tottenham win, and I think it's going to be a Mourinho
masterclass.
Terrorism class. Yeah,
terrorism class.
That's what they call it. Yeah, terrorism football.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on to Thursday, an All Premier League tie between Wolves and Southampton. Two Premier League teams that not in great form, especially Southampton. Actually, they lost 9-0 to United, then 3-2 to Newcastle.
You got a feel from them, haven't it?
Yeah, and
injuries and that.
And I do think Southampton do have a good team. They're obviously going to stay up. They're a mid-table Premier League team as far as I'm concerned, but their form is atrocious coming into this, and that's why I'm backing Wolves 2-1.
Exactly the same. Exactly the same. I feel for Southampton a bit because they had a really good start to the season. They were looking really good, and they've just fallen off a little bit. But Wolves are really underperforming, so you would have thought a cup competition might bring them back to where they probably want to be and should be. So yeah, 2-1 for me as well.
Okay, and next up, Chelsea are going back up to Yorkshire now to play Barnsley from the Championship. I think it'll be a bit like when Chelsea went away to Sheffield United tonight on the Monday night. I think Barnsley are going to put up a fight and they might get a goal, but Chelsea will have too much for them. I'm going to go Barnsley 1, Chelsea 2.
4-0. Barnsley. No, 4-0 Chelsea. I can't see Barnsley doing nothing, absolutely nothing against Chelsea. Like, it's not happening. Sorry. The only reason Sheffield United got a goal tonight was a mistake at the back. That's not happening against Barnsley.
Wow.
It's not. It's 4-0.
4-0. There you go. That wraps up the predictions, guys. That is the FA Cup predictions in the week. Some big games going on there, and obviously the winners go through to the quarter-finals, so it is getting interested in the FA Cup. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace out.
Peace out.